Welcome to the special Snow Day edition. I feel like we've already done this like 3 weeks ago, but another Snow Day edition of Raw Recap on WWE Now. It, of course, is a Fanatics and WWE original production. We are coming off, Megan, of a Monday Night Raw that I think we assumed would be emotional. I didn't quite know what I would be feeling. Of course, when they announced it would be the AJ Styles tribute, and you kind of looked at the clock as you were watching the show and you realized, okay, that's probably what they're going to end the show with, especially when the women's three-way started. And you're going, like this could be a real tearjerker. You know, you go back to Saturday night's main event and John Cena kind of walking past the aisleway that one final time and kind of touching the walls as he went. So I didn't quite know what I was going to get. And we get in there and AJ has this wonderfully emotional speech. And then boom, the announcement comes and my fears of starting this show with big teary red eyes went away, because I honestly don't know how you could walk away from tonight's Raw without a giant smile across your face.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so happy for AJ Styles. And, since we have the snowstorm, this is the first time in a while that we weren't watching Monday Night Raw together. And so as soon as I saw The Undertaker come out, I immediately got excited because I said, oh my gosh, is this really going to happen? And I was thinking, I bet Sam thinks that AJ Styles is joining DX.
That's because I thought maybe that's what we were going to get at WrestlePalooza.
That's right.
With The Undertaker and Stephanie McMahon. That was a complete... No, I didn't know. Okay, I'm going to walk you through my thought process here when this happened, okay? Because The Undertaker, we get the dong, And usually, by the way, the falsy ending is a lot of times not the best news for everybody involved. You get the falsy ending and either something dangerous or something big. It's usually not a feel-good moment, even when you got the falsy ending and it ended up being the return of CM Punk. Like, that was a great moment for fans, but like Seth Rollins is in War Games and he's cursing and Drew McIntyre is upset. Like, something is going on there. We got the falsy ending here and it was just feel-good. But I see, okay, so the dong hits after the credits have already popped up. And at first I go, okay, that's just like a note to say, well, you didn't know The Undertaker would be here. The entire roster is out there on the stage for AJ, but now The Undertaker is here as well. I go, okay, that's amazing. Then he rides the bike to the ring. And I go, oh. But then he sat on the bike. And he sat on the bike and he looked to the ring and just kind of observed AJ. I said, okay, maybe this is what we go out on. And then he got in the ring and he had a microphone. And he looked down at the gear on the floor and everything. And AJ wasn't holding a microphone. And AJ, I feel like, was pretty raw emotionally throughout the whole segment.
Totally.
So, right. So I was really getting the feeling that this wasn't something that had been, that he got the Iggy on, to use a term. but then Undertaker gets in there and he kind of started talking a little bit wild. Like he was, saying, you and I have unfinished business.
And Atlanta thought they were getting a match for a second.
I was like, are they springing this on AJ where they're like, look, I know you said you're going to retire. And I know you said, that you don't want to wait for WrestleMania. You want to retire right now. But if The Undertaker were to challenge you right in the ring to a match at WrestleMania, you'd have to accept, right? And I go, there's no way that they're just doing this. And then I think it wasn't really, and maybe I was slow, but I don't think it was until, I think AJ and I figured it out at the same time. Just as the smile started coming across AJ's face where he was like, oh my God, this is what you're doing. I felt the same way. Maybe I was just being empathetic to AJ and I was kind of seeing it through his lens, but I had no idea that The Undertaker was there to put AJ into the Hall of Fame until he basically said, and AJ, I'm here to ask you. And I went, oh, I know what he's going to ask him. That was the moment for me.
So for me, the moment was when I saw The Undertaker on the motorcycle, because The Undertaker has gotten us before. He got us with Triple H. He got us with Stephanie McMahon. And when that motorcycle appeared, I went, oh, I know where this one is going, especially because it was after the credits, after the graphic. pulls up, and that's how they always get you. But I was just so thrilled because I started to get emotional when AJ put the gear down, and I thought, oh, we're both going on Raw recap, and we're gonna have red puffy eyes. And to me, AJ Styles' retirement happened so fast. It was kind of hard to process it along the way. It was like, is this actually gonna end when he takes on Gunter? And then the Shinsuke match becomes official for Saturday night's main event, and you go, oh, maybe it really is. And I didn't feel like we had the opportunity to celebrate AJ on the way out. So now we'll get to do that at the Hall of Fame. And I'm just so happy for AJ and happy for the fans, happy for us.
Yeah, it did. I think you said a lot there. It happened very fast. I think that there's a reason why so many of us on the internet have been looking for every possible hole in the theory. I listened to AJ on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, and I was sitting there going like, he's not done. He's not done. He's not done. You know what I mean? And I think that part of it is because as a fan, you speculate and you try to create something when either the tiniest bit is there or sometimes nothing at all is there. But I think the bigger picture of it is that we didn't want him to retire. We weren't ready for it. We weren't prepared for it. You know, when he said this was going to be his last year, we thought he would at least make it to February. You know, like the fact that you're right, that Gunther, like 2 weeks or whatever it was, 2-3 weeks before the Rumble, made the stipulation and he accepted it. And then we said, this can't be it. But I thought it was really special in the segment. I thought what AJ said about his wife was really, really special because, you know, for a lot of people, for AJ to be able to get to where he's gotten in professional wrestling and still have this presumably wonderful family, like that takes more than one person. So I love that he shouted out his wife that way. And then when he said, listen, the reason, because he even said on Steph's podcast, I don't know why I didn't put the gloves down. I don't know. I put them back on. I don't know why. And he said it was because I wanted to put them down at home. And it's like, yeah, dude, it's just one of those things. And that's one of the reasons why you don't want to see him go, because he's just done everything right.
Yeah, and it really was poetic too, and he pointed that out, right? Going out at the Royal Rumble where everything began for him in WWE. So it's just so special. I'm glad that Atlanta got to have that moment with AJ, and I'm glad that all of the superstars came out and celebrated AJ in the way that he deserves to be celebrated.
Well, yeah, you heard throughout the show CM Punk making reference to the fact that this wasn't his night, this was AJ's night. Cody Rhodes making reference to the fact that this wasn't his night, this is AJ's night. I thought it was, I would say, a relief that at the beginning of the show, they got Gunther off the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was explained that he was here, he will not be here. So you don't have to like sit there holding your breath through this AJ Styles retirement, thinking that Gunther's going to show up at some point. And right now, he's way more angry at Dragon Lee than he is at AJ Styles.
Dragon Lee is my new favorite wrestler.
You love what he's doing.
I do. Yeah. I mean, Becky Lynch is my favorite female wrestler.
Sure.
Dragon Lee, favorite male wrestler now, currently.
Here's the thing. I mean, and you should have learned this from me a long time ago, just listening to me. You can have infinity favorite wrestlers. Like, you're like, that's my one favorite wrestler. You could say that about the whole roster if you want to. I do it all the time. Who's my favorite wrestler? He's my favorite. My absolute number one favorite is whatever. Dominic Mysterio, Roman Reigns, whoever you want to do it. That's my favorite. Rhea Ripley, it's my favorite wrestler. CM Punk's my favorite wrestler. Also, Finn Balor's my favorite wrestler. AJ Styles, quite honestly, is my favorite wrestler. That's why this has all been
tonight.
Yeah. That's why this has all been so tough. Actually, a lot of my favorite wrestlers were at Monday Night Raw. Omos.
Yes.
Robert
Abyss.
Roode. Abyss. I mean, Abyss. First of all, Frankie Kazarian showing up. It's a big deal for Frankie Kazarian to show up on Monday Night Raw. That's a really cool thing for people that have, watched all of the whole world of professional wrestling for the last couple of decades and that have really followed AJ Styles' career, and not just the 10 years that he spent in WWE, but, you know, all the time that he spent in Japan and TNA and even before that. Seeing, first of all, like the fact that CM Punk goes all the way back to like 20 years ago or more with AJ Styles, but seeing Frankie Kazarian show up on Raw and then open the boiler room closet and out comes Abyss. That was one of those, like, if you know, beautiful moments.
It was so perfect. Abyss, my one of my favorite wrestlers and also my favorite character on WWE Unreal.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. I think that might be Chris. I don't know if that's Abyss, but it is. It is. It's all one thing, right?
You know, yeah.
Jeremy Borash being there, of course. Jeremy Borash, a big part of TNA as well. But I mean, like, I was thinking about this, even when like Hurricane Helms, who was
Mhm.
out there, I mean, looking very stylish tonight with that big collar popped over that vest. We saw him at the beginning of the night. We saw him out there to pay respect to AJ Styles and Adam Pearce as well. Like you're looking, you bring up Robert Roode, Petey Williams, a lot of people that are producers in the WWE now are all people that came up with and close to AJ Styles. And like, that with the TNA guys, but I'm sitting there looking at the Hurricane and remembering that the Hurricane was in the cruiserweight division in WCW. And then I thought, man, it is so wild. I mean, he barely got in under the wire. It was like maybe the last like 2 weeks that WCW existed before WWE bought the company. But AJ Styles was that next generation of cruiserweight. AJ Styles was on Nitro at the very, very end of Nitro. That's how far back this goes. The kind of beginning, that first big national exposure for AJ Styles is the very, very end of Nitro. Except as much as there were some that would come right to WWE after that and build a certain type of career, AJ Styles after that goes and spends 16 years building his career elsewhere, helping build a company that is still in existence today, TNA, helping draw international attention to wrestling in Japan, and then finally in 2016 coming into WWE and bringing so much of that with him and that reputation with him. And honestly, if you look at what AJ Styles did in WWE, it's pretty remarkable because he brought, instead of, there used to be this thing. It's not the case, I don't think, anymore. But there used to be this thing with WWE where they would say, if certain talent come to WWE, they have to learn to work a WWE style.
Hmm.
But AJ Styles came in and he wrestled like AJ Styles. He acted like AJ Styles. He was just AJ Styles. And what you saw is a lot of talent, even talent that had been in WWE for a very long time, started to kind of try to get up to AJ Styles' game. I mean, that's why that rivalry with John Cena and AJ Styles is so incredibly memorable and important, because it wasn't AJ Styles learning how to wrestle the way that John Cena had been wrestling for all these years already. It was John Cena showing what he could learn to do, what he had in the tank that he hadn't shown off yet, and John Cena elevating his game to match AJ Styles's.
I mean, that's one of the reasons that AJ Styles in WWE was just so great, because it was something that people talked about, and it could never happen. And if he came to WWE, it wouldn't be the same AJ Styles. But just like you're talking about, Sam, when AJ came to WWE, he was AJ Styles, and that made it that much better.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, getting to go out there and you could feel it as soon as he walked down the aisle. There was that moment, and I love that moment. I love that pause, that pregnant pause on the show right before something's going to happen. And we got it right before that music hit tonight. And then boom, music hits and AJ Styles goes out there on his own, speaks from the heart, talks about his time in WWE, but also talks about his time in Japan, also talks about his time in TNA, also brings up the Good Brothers, brings up like all of these things, because, AJ Styles' career is this sort of very widespread thing that has made a giant impact on all of pro wrestling in general. That's one of the things that makes it so special. And then that moment that, he kind of put the mic down, and it was almost like you didn't want him to stop talking for the same reason that we were just saying. Because once he's done talking, it's done.
Hmm.
And you're like, come up with something else to say. Just elongate this. Something.
Just stay in our life,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. And you don't know. And you've read all these reports about like maybe he's gonna be a trainer at the PC, or maybe he's gonna be a producer, maybe he's gonna do this, and it's all nonsense. It's all on the internet. But you just want to cling on to something. So when The Undertaker came out, and I think that my favorite part of AJ Styles finding out that he's going into the Hall of Fame was the genuine reaction that he did not see it coming. And he really was touched. He was happy. I think he felt like he had been seen in that moment. You know what I mean? And I think that he did take it as the honor that I believe it was probably intended to be.
I'm so happy for AJ, and I love the video packages that they played
Ah,
before as well. And you got to hear from all the superstars and the mark that he's left. I mean, one that really stood out to me was when Charlotte Flair was backstage hugging him, and she was emotional. And I love those, like, the cameras were rolling, but she didn't say it because the camera was rolling. She said it because she really meant it. And she said, "Who am I going to text about my matches now?" And it's just, that is the type of person that AJ Styles is. He's left an impact on the industry from his own work, but continues to help others and provide all of that feedback and be the guy in the locker room and be the guy that anybody, man or woman on the roster, can go to.
yeah, and how about the Texas Rattlesnake going, in my opinion, AJ Styles is the greatest professional wrestler walking on two legs.
So good.
It's a pretty good compliment. Pretty good compliment.
So good.
Yeah. So, shout out to AJ Styles. Now, we did get the opportunity. One of our correspondents was there in Atlanta and got the chance to talk to AJ Styles. We sent in some questions because we wanted to hear from AJ on this night. And I mean, both of us, Megan, I know I speak for you because I know what questions you sent in. We're so curious about so much, and I'm sure if AJ were here, we could talk to him for 3 hours. But we got him for a few minutes. Sent in some questions for WWE Now, and here's what AJ had to say tonight.
Hey, Sam and Megan.
So their first question is, why is now the right time to retire?
Why is now the right time to retire? I mean, now's the right time to retire so I don't make a fool out of myself, so I don't embarrass myself. I'm on the verge of doing just that. Now's the time. It's not easy, mind you, but it's the time.
Do you have any favorite matches or moments?
Of course, I have favorite moments and matches, but there's so many that I can't just throw them out there. Let's talk about the most recent favorite. Shinsuke Nakamura and myself had an unbelievable match at Saturday Night Main Event. I'm probably proud of that match because I know a lot of people didn't like the first one we had in WWE, so I think we made up for it. The match with John Cena at Crown Jewel in Australia, man, I'm so glad I got to wrestle that guy. Punk having that match with him, these are a lot of matches that I didn't think I'd have the opportunity to have at the end of my career, and was able to pull off some unbelievable matches and unbelievable moments.
Is there someone who you wanted to work that you didn't get a chance to?
There are some guys I wanted to work with, didn't have a chance to, but I worked with them, meaning I tagged with them. Like, I would like to be in there with Penta, to go back and forth. So, but I mean, I'd love to get back in the ring with Chad Gable. I say I'd love that. Here I am, retired, so that's not going to happen. But so many qualified wrestlers that I would love. And the old timers, we always say this, right? Because I'm one of those guys now. Oh, we would have had a great match with that kid. There's so many of those guys here.
What did the John Cena match mean to you?
The John Cena match meant it was two guys who had wrestled a lot of different people and brung it all together to bring tribute to professional wrestling. It was everybody that we loved and idolized and had friendships with that we get paid homage to.
Was there ever a thought of retiring anywhere besides WWE?
Was there ever a thought of retiring anywhere besides WWE? Here's the crazy thing. Had TNA offered me the deal that I had, I would have stayed there. So there was that. I was proud of the fact that I helped make a company. I wanted to be there. But as things would have it, here I am in WWE, and I'm grateful for it.
What was it that was telling you Royal Rumble, not WrestleMania, 3 months later?
It was coming back from an injury to WrestleMania, to a match that didn't, to me, have much build. And WrestleMania, listen, I'm sorry to say, used to be the most prestigious PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. But as far as the Royal Rumble, well, that's special to me because that's where I made my debut. So to be able to end where I started, it's poetic.
How far back were you looking at matches knowing they were your last?
I was looking back as far as, well, I knew after WrestleMania, those were my last matches that I was gonna have after WrestleMania. It was Logan and then whoever else I got the opportunity to be in the ring with. And fortunately for me, it was having a tag team partner in Dragon Lee.
How do you look at? How did you look at your own retirement tour?
I look at my own retirement tour as pretty good. Some quality matches. The matches that me and Dragon Lee had with New Day, making those moments that we had in those tag matches, they were fun, they were entertaining, and then to go and have a singles run with a couple guys in that same frame as John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura, CM Punk, like Gunther, like those are some good matches. Those are some good matchups.
Any final words?
Any final words? I've said this for 2 decades, and I mean it. AJ Styles would have been nothing without you, the fans.
Well, thanks to AJ Styles for making any time for us on this on this amazing night. By the way, you can celebrate the incredible career of AJ Styles with exclusive gear at WWE Shop and Fanatics, from the new AJ Styles Atlanta Hawks collab tee to the Thank You AJ collection. It's all available now. Grab it before it's gone. You're going to want to scoop it up before that Hall of Fame rush comes in. You know, now's the time to get on that AJ bandwagon. And by the way, we got ready for Elimination Chamber thanks to Monday Night Raw. You can get your official event gear now at WWE Shop, and check out the new CM Punk Blackhawks Signature Series Spinner Championship title that is available now at WWE Shop and Fanatics. You can get it all right now. A very, very exciting time. By the way, I was writing down some of these celebrities. Atlanta, I don't know if it was AJ Styles. I don't know if it was because stuff happens when WWE comes to Atlanta. I don't know if it was all of the above. But, I mean, just Offset, Lil Yachty.
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. His name's 2 Chainz, but he's got a few, by the way. Bow Wow, Dwight Howard, Funny Marco, Jermaine Dupri, So Def. I mean, come on. That building. What a star-studded building.
Do you blame him? AJ Styles, Monday Night Raw, sold out?
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And they probably also wanted to find out who was qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. We got our final men's and women's qualifying matches. So with the men, they started it off. It was Jey Uso, Grande Americano Original, and Bronson Reed. First of all, Grande Americano was unbelievable. This original Grande Americano is unbelievable. I mean,
I'm so glad you brought that up because last week we were talking about it. You know, which Grande Americano is the one that's really connecting with you right now? And then last week, I hand up said that contemporary Grande Americano was the one that was connecting for me, and that's just how it was. I think I forgot what original Grande Americano is capable of, and I was quickly reminded tonight, this guy is on another level.
you're probably also rooting for the Canadian hockey team.
Okay. All right, you had
So,
to.
well, that's how it comes
I was
across.
not. I was not.
Yeah, right.
I was rooting for Team USA. I
Yeah,
just
right.
the original was connecting with me. All right.
Yeah, right. But he did great. I mean, getting that German suplex on Bronson Reed and like trying throughout the match to hit it, and then when he finally did, it was unbelievable. I think Bronson Reed, for me anyway, I went on the radio and called him my favorite. That was my prediction. I thought Bronson Reed was going to win this thing and then go and cause some damage in the Elimination Chamber. But it's a string of bad luck, it would appear, for the Vision as Bronson Reed went down kind of favoring the bicep. At least that's where I'm told biceps normally are. I can't tell.
Know.
No, I can't tell on my body. But it was said at the end of the show, Michael Cole said Bronson Reed out indefinitely after a bicep tear. So, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, obviously, hopefully he recovers up, he gets better as quickly as humanly possible, and everything's okay. But, I mean, for the Vision in general, first Seth goes down, then Braun Breaker goes down, now Bronson Reed is down. Not looking good. Not looking good for plans for the Vision and sort of domination going into WrestleMania season.
No, I mean, Paul Heyman's head has to be absolutely scrambling right now. The Vision was a group formed like the Monday after WrestleMania. On the Raw after WrestleMania
right.
was kind of when the Vision all came together. And this was, going to be the future of, we thought at the beginning that it was going to be 5 years from now. And then Braun Breaker just takes the whole division by storm. We say, no, it might be 5 minutes from now. And now the Vision has absolutely been devastated with injuries. So, I'm thinking about Bronson Reed. Hopefully he can get better as soon as possible. But if you're Logan Paul and you're Paul Heyman, I mean, you got to come up with a plan soon, right?
Well, I think if you're Logan Paul, you got to come up with a plan soon, because I think Paul Heyman has a beast incarnate shaped backup plan.
He's already moved on.
I mean, he was already.
Thank you for your service.
Like he's just stepping over here, stepping over there, just seeing what lands. Look,
Survivor.
I mean, honestly, Logan Paul and Austin Theory seem to be the final two standing in the Vision at the moment. Everybody will be back, and when everybody does get back, that's the other thing you got to be careful of. You can't run your mouth too much, because the minute everybody's back, everybody's coming for receipts.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's right,
and they should. But in the meantime, listen, if I'm Logan Paul and I'm Austin Theory, I'm going, the Vision is a top act. We would the top guys in the top act are going down temporarily. In the meantime, we need to use that spotlight to get as much attention on us as possible. The headline, I think, for Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they want the headline to be that the Vision is still on top of the wrestling world, and that way they can say, look at what we did.
Well, and don't forget, there's still a masked man out there after the Vision.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as of last week, he was out there. I mean, maybe he's in that crate. I don't know. We'll find out on Saturday.
Yeah.
But no, you're 100% right. The man, it's very, very, very complicated in the Vision right now. A lot going on. But Jey Uso is able to hit the spear in the Uso splash to beat Grande Americano Original. Jey Uso goes into the men's elimination chamber. So it's LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. And I am looking at all these names combined. LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Jey Uso. Meg, is this not the historically most popular elimination chamber of all time? Like, every single person in this thing could start an insane fan club. Like, these are the most popular wrestlers on the roster.
I mean, I think if everyone has a path and a case to win this thing, and the crowd is completely behind them.
That's right.
Right?
You have Cody Rhodes, who wants to win his title back and be the guy. And anybody that doubts Cody Rhodes needs to listen to the reaction that he got in Atlanta.
Well, and now Cody Rhodes is in like the most dangerous spot that he's ever been in, because he always performs when he's the underdog. And Cody Rhodes has become an underdog because for the first time since he's been back in WWE, he doesn't have a WrestleMania match yet.
You got Randy Orton, who everybody has been itching to see back in the world title picture since he returned. You've got You got LA Knight, who is the guy that everybody's like waiting for him to get his moment. Every fan has been sitting there waiting for the proverbial trigger to be pulled on LA Knight. Like, it's time to go. I want him to be the champion. So many people have gone to so many buildings and said the exact same thing time and time again. And this is kind of the opening that's created for him.
And then you have Javon Evans, who shocked everybody by qualifying for the Elimination Chamber last week. I mean, you think about his athleticism inside this structure and how fun it would be to have Javon Evans with a WrestleMania match for a world championship after the year he's had, going up against John Cena and making an impact in an instant on the division. People would love it.
Of course they would. And people are saying it already. They're looking at this new class coming in now and going, maybe you don't wait. Maybe you just go for it and have somebody new win this chamber. Like, what if Javon Evans shocks the world? What if you just went for it and all of a sudden Javon Evans goes from a guy with potential to a guy who's main eventing WrestleMania against, by the way, it doesn't hurt. God bless Drew McIntyre, but he gets booed in every building that he goes in. So it doesn't hurt that you have all these guys that are going to get cheered wherever they go against the guy who's getting booed wherever he goes. That's a compelling story. And you might say, I don't know, is Trick Williams really a fan favorite? And I would, if you're asking me that question, you didn't watch SmackDown. Because they went nuts. They went nuts for Trick Williams.
They go nuts every week for Trick Williams.
And Chicago's going to go wild for him. I spent 25 minutes this morning or this afternoon on my radio show on Sirius just talking about, like, listen, you have to deal with the reality. And you know what it was? I saw him do like one of those local morning news shows.
I saw the exact one you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? And he pops on with these lemon pepper steppers. He wears lemon pepper steppers, no shirt, and a fur coat onto the morning news, and he's the most charming guy in the room.
I mean, I saw him on First Take with Stephen A today, and he was talking about Lash Legend and how much of a great athlete she is and how he picked his women. And I said, you know what? Yep, that's it. He wasn't even talking about himself. He was talking about his fiance, Lash Legend. And I said, sign me up for more Trick Williams.
I'm telling you, nobody, he's the guy. Nobody can pull it off like him. And then at the same time, after tonight, you've got Jey Uso, who when we last saw Jimmy, he said, go and do this. Get that back. Be that guy. And again, Atlanta was yeeting like crazy for him. Like, Jey Uso is always one step away from getting back to the top of the mountain that he once sat upon. So this really is that elimination chamber that on paper you go, okay, well, I think Cody versus Drew McIntyre sounds like a WrestleMania match to me, but I can make a case for every single person in this match. And I don't recall a time where you had 6 superstars that were more cheered for than the 6 that are in this match, all for different reasons.
That's right. Yeah, I can't recall one either, but I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, what if any one of these situations that we've laid out could easily happen in Chicago this weekend?
What if? Then you go over to the women's side, and you've got tonight Raquel versus Io versus Kyrie.
Huge win for Raquel.
Matt, this is what people were waiting for. And again, it goes back to what I was saying before about some of the newer talent that had come up from NXT. But I don't recall a time, even though she's been on the main roster for a little while, I don't recall a time where there was more organic support for Raquel. People love Raquel. I couldn't
agree with you more.
Right?
I mean, people familiar with Raquel and NXT have been following, what she's capable of for a long time. But since Raquel's been on the main roster, there hasn't been this type of support with her. I mean,
That's right.
It all kind of started when Liv Morgan came back. And then there were some questions when Liv Morgan eliminated her on purpose, by the way, from the Royal Rumble. But since then, Raquel has just built so much more momentum. A lot of people have gotten behind her and want to cheer for Raquel. And she's really shown off her strength. I mean, I think back to the spot that she had in the Cena match. And that to me was when I really started to look at Raquel differently, just because of the strength that she's always had it, but the way she's been using it.
Absolutely. And just, just that idea of recognition. I think you're right that people go like, you know what? She is pretty amazing. She is pretty awesome. Io was just doing everything that Io does in this triple threat, just completely showcasing why she's one of the best wrestlers on the entire roster. But ultimately, Kairi Sane interrupts the over the moonsault. But just as she gets Io out of the match, that gives Raquel the 2 seconds that Raquel needed to take advantage of it. Tejana Bomb, 1, 2, 3. Raquel Rodriguez qualifies for the Elimination Chamber. So on the women's side, you're left with Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Kiana James, which was a shocker on SmackDown. Huge shocker. Tiffany Stratton and Raquel, obviously. And this is one where I'm looking at it, and you do have, I would classify Kiana James as an underdog. I would classify Raquel as somebody that, as much, as a threat as she is, she's just kind of, this would be the match where she's entering into a scene that a lot of the other women have already been there, like Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Tiffany Stratton have all held, they've held the world titles before, but they've also been in that conversation for a long, long time. I've got to tell you, I was thinking about it a lot. I would love to see Rhea Ripley win this thing.
I know, and every single time that you hear her entrance and the crowd reacts to it, I mean, it just reminds you, you needed to be reminded, that Rhea Ripley is one of the, if not the biggest star on the entire roster. And I'm with you. I would love to see Rhea Ripley back in the world title picture. I'd also like to point out about Raquel. I just thought of this right now. I think it was when Elimination Chamber was in Perth, Australia.
Yeah.
Raquel really was just starting to kind of make her mark on the women's division on the main roster, because she had only been on there for a short time, and that was when Raquel dealt with some sort of skin issue, and she was off television for many, many months. So this could be an opportunity for Raquel, kind of like a full circle moment, back at Elimination Chamber, where things started to take a turn for her. So I would root for that story with Raquel. But I'm with you. Rhea Ripley in the women's world title picture, something we've been waiting for a very long time. She had the match with Becky at WrestleMania, and we all kind of thought, this is going to be the start of the Rhea Ripley era. But then injuries happen, and I love that the women's tag picture is absolutely loaded right now. But for me, I'd like to see Rhea back in the world title picture.
She beat Becky?
She did. This was a different time, but yeah, she did beat Becky, and it was a remarkable performance by Becky Lynch, because she did have the flu at that WrestleMania, and they put on a banger of a match. So a lot of people are still talking about the fact that Becky was able to have that match with Rhea while she was dealing with the flu.
I mean, I don't know if that's remarkable. Like, Michael Jordan's flu game is remarkable because he won. He performed well, scored points. I like to be like, well, I had the flu and I lost. That's not remarkable. That's like, yeah, well, you lost.
She went out there at WrestleMania and just
lost.
Had a hell of a match.
Okay. All right. I didn't remember the result. I just wanted you to clarify that for me. You're kind of my statistician here. That's all that nothing personal. Yeah. But by the way, that same Elimination Chamber that you're talking about with Raquel, 2 years ago, was also the same Elimination Chamber in Perth, where I think the reality of what a star Tiffany Stratton was.
That's right.
Came
Perth
into the
was
picture.
all chanting Tiffy time.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't shock me even a little bit, because Tiffany Stratton has been off TV recently. Mm-hmm. It would not shock me even a little bit if Tiffany Stratton came out of the chamber as the winner.
And I would like to see maybe a Kiana James have a moment that Tiffany Stratton had a few years back, where you realize what Kiana James is capable of. I think she had an outstanding showing in the Royal Rumble. She's somebody who's been on our screens for a while. And it's funny, watching back old NXT clips, you forget some of the matches that Kiana James had when she was in NXT and how incredible she is. So I'd really like to see her turn some heads at Elimination Chamber as well.
I remember that. I'm glad you brought that up. I remember that run in NXT where it was like she was one of those talents that you realized, I hadn't been watching that closely, but all of a sudden she's gotten really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll find out. And of course, the winner of the Elimination Chamber will go to WrestleMania If it's somebody that's been there before, they'll be returning. You know what else returns to WrestleMania this year? WWE World. Yes, WWE World is back in Las Vegas, April 16th through the 20th this year, and it is the can't-miss destination during WrestleMania week. WWE World brings the WWE Universe closer than ever to the superstars, legends, and iconic moments that define WWE with immersive exhibits, exclusive merchandise, and experiences that you won't find anywhere else. You can see superstars like Drew McIntyre, Liv Morgan, Jey Uso, Dominic Mysterio, Tiffany Stratton, and many more, with even more appearances still to come. Tickets are now on sale at WWEworld.com. Save 10% with promo code WWENOW10. That's WWEworld.com. Very, very exciting. Now, we do know that it will be the WWE Women's Championship that the winner of the Elimination Chamber on the women's side will be going for. The title that Jade Cargill has, because it was made very, very clear tonight that Liv Morgan is going with Stephanie Vaquer. And
oh my gosh. I'm so excited to dive into this with you.
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Just from watching Liv Morgan last week, trying to wrap my head around the fact that we saw a different side of Liv Morgan in that sit-down interview with Michael Cole, Dominic Mysterio, and Stephanie Vaquer. Liv Morgan brought to tears. She's emotional. We haven't seen Liv Morgan have tears since, going back to the days where she literally used to have diamond tears coming down her face. Like, it was a totally different Liv Morgan. That was a Liv Morgan who was Miss Money in the Bank. She's come so far since then. So to see her brought to that level of emotion was just shocking to me. This is the woman who used to tell Rhea Ripley to cry about it. She literally had a t-shirt that said cry about it. And I just couldn't wait to hear from Liv Morgan tonight. And when she entered with Dominic Mysterio, from the very beginning, you could tell that something was different.
You're talking about the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time?
The one who doesn't defend his title, that one.
He's defended it plenty of times.
The greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time is Becky Lynch. But if you want to consider Dom, I disagree with your opinion, but that's your opinion.
Wow. Okay. I don't know how many times is Becky defending her Intercontinental title a ton?
All the time.
Oh, I guess probably in the live events. But I will say, watching this, I was also curious as to how this would pan out, because I really wasn't sure what direction that I wanted this to go in, with Liv Morgan kind of figuring out which champion she would go after since she won the Royal Rumble. But I think it was because of everything that you just said. It was because of the different emotionality of that interaction last week. It made me go, like, right after that promo, I was like, yeah, that's the WrestleMania match that I want to see now. I want to see Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. That's the story. That's the story that has me interested. The story of somebody who had to claw and scrape from within the WWE year after year after year. And we've all watched that struggle. We've all seen that struggle. As somebody who had to do that versus somebody who had a completely different struggle, who had to struggle for 10 years outside of the WWE just to get a look. I don't think one struggle invalidates the other struggle, but I do think that they're inherently two very different things that create two very different people. And what you end up seeing is, yes, a battle between two women who at this point probably don't respect each other. But more importantly, I think what you get is a battle between those two stories. Which struggle has brought the struggler to the point where they can go to WrestleMania and leave with the world championship? That's what I want to see.
And you were talking a little bit about this on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast today. The struggle of a Liv Morgan who, yes, she does have access to the best trainers and medical staff and training facility within WWE.
And boyfriends.
I forgot boyfriends. Mm-hmm. I apologize. I don't know how I could have overlooked the, as you call him, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, Dominic Mysterio. But with Liv Morgan starting her career in WWE, that means all of her first times of everything. First time having a match, first time on TV. It's in front of the WWE audience. This is truly sink or swim. And it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for Liv Morgan.
No, you're right. You're right. And I'm checking right now. I'm checking right now on the old Instagram and whatnot to see whether or not it's official.
Because the graphic.
The graphic, you know what I'm looking for. You know I got to see my graphic. I don't see any graphic yet. I mean, I'm ready to say we have 2 matches announced for WrestleMania. I'm ready to say that Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan is our second WrestleMania match that we have. You know, obviously the first being CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I haven't seen a graphic yet. Maybe by the time this comes out, you guys will have seen it. But that is definitely the match. And then it makes me go to the women's division and that elimination chamber. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here's what we have right now. We have the breaking news WrestleMania graphic. You know how the new thing is to have the breaking news graphic and then the graphic?
Yes.
So right now, at the time of this recording, we have the breaking news graphic. Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer, Women's World Championship match, WrestleMania Vegas. And because it's a picture from tonight, you get Dominic Mysterio in the background, which is a lot of fun. But yes, it is. I take that as official. Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. I think that's a massive WrestleMania match. I love that it's not necessarily a WrestleMania match that's involving people that have been in WrestleMania matches for the last, 3-4 years or whatever it is, that it is fresh blood being put out there. And I like, what you can, and I don't think it's a bad thing, you can on the way to WrestleMania go, okay, let's switch these titles and get the big, like, pre-established WrestleMania tested superstars out there. Or you could switch it up and make it different. I feel like last year they switched it up and made it different with Io Sky going in as Women's World Champion that nobody saw coming. And this year, again, looking in that Women's World Championship spot, who would have thought a year ago Stephanie Vaquer would be walking into WrestleMania 42 as the champion and defending against Liv Morgan?
I mean, you think about the journey she had just to get to WWE and then to get to the main roster and then her journey to get the title match, because she was supposed to have it in Paris against Naomi. Remember, she was calling her Stephanie Velcro. But
That's right.
Then she had to wait longer for the title match. She had so many different obstacles thrown against her. And to the fact that Stephanie Vaquer is going to walk into WrestleMania as your women's world champion, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. And then Liv Morgan, she's dealt with injuries. Nobody knew when Liv Morgan was going to come back. But a Liv Morgan who's coming back from some type of injury, is a dangerous Liv Morgan.
Vicious.
So it doesn't surprise me that she found her way to WrestleMania.
I mean, looking at that, and that's why Elimination Chamber is going to be so much fun on Saturday. Like we're really going to start painting this picture of what WrestleMania is going to look like, what superstars are going to be there. And speaking of superstars, the world's #1 sports fan festival, Fanatics Fest, is making its return to New York City. Fanatics is bringing you closer to the league's teams and superstars that you love across 4 action-packed days in July. Meet your favorite WWE superstars: Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Jey Uso, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Randy Orton, Stephanie Vaquer, Tiffany Stratton, and Bianca Belair. They'll all be in attendance, as well as big names across sports like WWE superfan Cam Scatabo. You'll also be able to get your hands on exclusive merch and catch live WWE podcasts. Tickets for that, Fanatics Fest, are on sale now at fanaticsfest.com. You can use code WWE now for 10% off at checkout. And speaking of WrestleMania, a declaration was made tonight. The Beast returned to Monday Night Raw. And Brock Lesnar showed up with Paul Heyman by his side. And they basically went in that ring and made a declaration. Paul Heyman brought it back to The Undertaker. The night that I feel, and is a very controversial opinion, it's a very controversial topic. There's people to this day that don't feel like The Undertaker's streak should have ever ended. But I have felt for a very long time, I've been very public about this, that I truly feel like Brock Lesnar was made into a different animal after beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania than he was before he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He was always the Beast. He was always the next big thing. He was always Brock Lesnar. But it went up a level. This is why there is no comparison to Brock Lesnar. The idea that Brock Lesnar is on his own island. There's nobody. Oh, he's like the modern day nothing. He's his own entity entirely. And I think a lot of that does go back to that night when he did the unthinkable and he beat The Undertaker's streak. So Paul Heyman so eloquently put it as only he knows how to do. That for a long time, there were two main events of WrestleMania. It was the WWE Championship match, and it was the Undertaker match. You go back to those Undertaker matches, especially, maybe you go back to like WrestleMania 24. Technically, the Undertaker match was the world title match, which was the main event. But you start getting into 25, Undertaker and Shawn, 26, Undertaker and Shawn, 27, Undertaker and Triple H, 28, Undertaker and Triple H, 29, Undertaker and CM Punk. That run was its own separate, whoa, that's the Undertaker match. And then it went to 30, which was Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. And it's amazing to me that we're 12 years removed from that, because it feels like yesterday, right? There have been generations that have happened since then, and it still feels like yesterday to me. But Paul Heyman is now saying that Brock Lesnar inherited that from The Undertaker, that the Brock Lesnar match is the new Undertaker match at WrestleMania. So going forward, it's all about the Brock Lesnar match, and an open challenge has been put out with the dates that Brock Lesnar is going to show up. I think the next time we're going to see him on Raw is March 16th in San Antonio, Texas. And then he's there for a good chunk of time leading up to WrestleMania. So I wonder who it is that's going to answer this Brock Lesnar challenge.
I mean, could it be Gunther?
Of course, it could be Gunther. Listen.
I mean, that's the match a lot of us have been talking about. And I just think of somebody who would really have the guts to step up to Brock Lesnar. And you talk about how significant it was that he ended the streak. Well, the only person I can think of that's done something, almost equally as significant, I would say,
arguably, sure,
Gunther, who retired John Cena.
The fans were chanting something at Brock. Did you hear it? Oba.
I would love Oba too.
The fans were chanting, I don't know if Oba wants to do this that early, though. That's a big chip to cash in this early in the run. And Oba is on a pretty nice run right now.
Those are my two picks, Gunther or Oba.
What if Sami Zayn stepped up?
Wow, that would be...
Isn't that crazy? I mean he's going through it right now. He needs something.
Is.
I mean, and I think...
And then you have to think of whoever doesn't come out of the Elimination Chamber. Could any of them step up?
What if Randy Orton? What if Randy Orton stepped up?
Orton.
That'd be nuts. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this thing. But I like that the Brock Lesnar match has become an attraction for WrestleMania. I think that's cool. I do want to tell you, by the way, WWE fans, you know where you can experience the thrill and excitement of ripping Topps card packs with the instant gratification of having your collection conveniently on your phone? Well, WWE Slam by Topps, that offers fans around the world the chance to collect and trade their favorite WWE superstars, rip new digital packs every day, complete collector-based missions and seasons, and combine cards to craft them into rarer digital collectibles. The app even offers in-app challenges where you can win Topps WWE hobby boxes, full cases, graded cards, and more just by ripping digital packs. Here's your chance to build the ultimate Topps WWE digital collection featuring iconic Topps designs, original artwork, motion cards, and more. WWE Slam by Topps. Download free now in the App Store and Google Play. Before we go, Megan, of course, CM Punk came out on Raw tonight to give AJ Styles some respect, but also to say that he doesn't have to play the what-if game. We talked about the 2 Elimination Chamber matches. 5 things I'm looking forward to at Elimination Chamber right now.
All right, let's hear it.
2 chamber matches.
Yep.
Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. We heard from Becky Lynch tonight. CM Punk versus Finn Balor. We heard from both CM Punk and Finn Balor tonight. And the crate.
Oh, the crate. We saw the crate again tonight on Raw.
They said, I wonder if this is a clue. Adam Pearce said that somebody spelled his name wrong on the address. Could R-Truth be in the crate?
Oh my gosh. Don't say that.
It could be R-Truth. He gets confused easily. Here's the only other thing.
I could see him finding a way to survive for 2 weeks in a crate.
Yeah, I could absolutely see it.
He's one of the few people I think that I could see doing that.
Because you know why? Because he wouldn't know well enough to not survive in the crate. You see what I'm saying?
He wouldn't realize he's in a crate.
That's right. That's 100%. He'd think he was in a chamber.
Yeah.
It's an elimination chamber. I think R-Truth, or with the misspelling too. And I don't know how the spelling is. I just know that historically he was always bad with pronunciation. I think I'm looking at Santino Marella now.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how John Chena was ever spelled, but if you can't pronounce it right, I would imagine the spelling's going to be tough. Who do you think has the right attitude going into Elimination Chamber between Finn Balor and CM Punk? Is it Finn Balor who's saying, I've got, the whole world's on my shoulders right now because I finally have gotten to the point where it's time to answer what if? Or is it CM Punk who's going, I don't have to answer what if because I am?
I love the chip on Finn Balor's shoulder. I love what we've seen from Finn Balor. I love how Finn Balor has reminded all of us. I just think it's very difficult to go up against the confidence of CM Punk in Chicago, in the United Center as World Heavyweight Champion. I don't think CM Punk is one to underestimate Finn Balor, but I think he is the type of guy who just knows exactly what he's capable of, and he should be confident going into the match. And I think that's the attitude you have to have as World Heavyweight Champion. So CM Punk, to answer your question.
I got to tell you, we're going to have a lot to talk about. We will be doing the WWE Now Elimination Chamber preview show later this week. Of course, we will also, right after Elimination Chamber, be doing the Elimination Chamber recap as well here on WWE Now. That's why it's so important that you stay subscribed to the WWE Now podcast feed. We got shows coming out all the time, and I can't wait to get all of the thoughts on this as the week progresses. Megan, an emotional night, but I'm glad we could experience it together. This has been fantastic. I can't wait to preview Elimination Chamber later this week. For Megan Morant, I'm Sam Roberts. This has been Raw Recap here on WWE Now.